what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Ericson Velasquez, and I am the Senior Class President. I would like to welcome Dr. Nagler, the members of the Board of Education, the District Administrators, Dr. Smith, and Assistant Principals, the faculty and staff of the high school. Finally, I'd like to welcome friends and family to celebrate an early milestone in the graduating class of 2020. Today, we focus on just us. As humans, we tend to focus too much on the past or not enough on the future. They are hard to forget and are hard to predict, but living in the present is how we can make a difference. Some of us are the first in our families to go to college, and some of us are the first to go into the military, and some of us are the next generation. But today, let's just relax and enjoy the moment. Look around you. Now look left and now look right. Everyone here is proud of the accomplishments that each and every one of you has achieved today. Whether it was pouring our blood, sweat, and tears on the field, on the stage, or in the classroom, we overcame these obstacles together. President Abraham Lincoln once said, "A house divided against itself cannot stand." Each of the students sitting here today has faced some sort of obstacle throughout their high school experience, and each one of them has overcome it. There's nothing that can hold us down. We are capable of changing the world for the better if we put our minds to it. We are here to empower and inspire people. So use your voice, be heard, be the change you want to see. Now you might be wondering, how can we focus on the present today? The answer is within all of us. Today is not only a day of remembrance, it's a recognition that we are stronger together. Although we were in quarantine for nearly 3 months, this pandemic couldn't divide us. Think about all those Friday WebEx meetings with our class, or the banners on Jericho Turnpike, or the senior class car parade. I'll never forget it. Something I saw that day was happiness. Everyone felt some type of joy that either made them cry or yell out of their cars to say, "I love you," or "I miss you." All of these moments are uniquely special because this class is uniquely special. As class president, you need reliable people to help you plan, organize, and facilitate school functions. That was never an issue with my classmates. They are selfless, supportive, and diligent individuals. There's something truly special about Mineola and how this community supports one another. I'm honored to have been your class president, and I wouldn't trade this class for any other. That said, we wouldn't be where we are today without the guidance of our district administration, our friends, our families, our teachers. our class advisors, Ms. Bucchio and Mr. Fretz, and the support we've provided for one another. I'm thankful. I'm thankful for the parents who have supported us throughout our years in the high school and who are here today. I'd like to thank everyone who has supported me throughout pre-K until now, especially my family, Mr. Gavin, and the man, the myth, the legend, Coach Dan Guido. Throughout our time together, I'm grateful to have had the opportunity to know each and every one of you sitting here today. Words cannot describe how deeply thankful I am to have you guys. As we leave today, just focus. Focus on today, because this day should not be a day of forgetting, but a day worth remembering. Take this moment and cherish it. Remember the love and support you've had throughout your years in Mineola and spread that positivity all over the world. As you move on to your next chapter, don't ever forget that you are unstoppable. Thank you.
I took my love and I took it down. I climbed a mountain and I turned around.
And I saw my reflection in the snow-covered hills when a landslide brought me down.
Oh, mirror in the sky, what is love? Can the child within my heart rise above? Can I sail through the changing ocean tide? Can I handle the seasons of my life? Oh, 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 oh. Well, I've been afraid of changing, 'cause I've built my life around you. But time makes you bolder. Children get older, and I'm getting older too. Well, I've been afraid of changing, 'cause I've built my life around you. But time makes you bolder. Children get older, and I'm getting older too. I'm getting older too. So take this love and take it down. Yeah, if you climb a mountain and you turn around, and if you see my reflection in the snow-covered hills when a landslide brought me down, and if you see my reflection in the snow-covered hills, well, maybe
Good morning, everyone. I would like to start off with acknowledging what an absolute honor it is to sit alongside my peers on this stage today, and among the mentors and figures of our school district to whom Mineola owes its success and character. I'd like to think of myself as someone who usually knows what to say at the right time, but as I look upon the last 12 years of my Mineola school career drifting behind me, it's hard to find just the right words. I'm working out the vocabulary of my silence, but this class, this school, this story we've all journeyed on truly leaves me speechless. 12 years in Mineola. For some of us, it's been less than 12. For others, it's even been less than 4. But the role Mineola plays still exists in your narrative, regardless of how much space it has taken up in it, and that is enough. You can argue that our lives didn't truly start until entering the school 5 years ago. 200 wide-eyed 8th graders, no more than a mere 5 feet in height. I, at least, felt terrified. I felt small. I felt unprepared. I felt no more than a floating backpack and an ID number. People used to tell us, if you think high school is hard, just wait until college. Now you're all actually waiting for college, and probably a shell of who you once were those 5 years ago. It is quite a reality check to sit in front of an audience of 1,000, anticipating your diploma, when you feel as if you're still supposed to be sitting in front of a smartboard, anticipating your next test grade. If you can skim through the pages of your story or drive down the road of your path, I hope you can understand, not count, the measure of your personal triumphs, your degrees of presence rather than productivity. I felt the weight of our efforts in Battle of the Classes, the way we stood beside each other in pride and worked tirelessly alongside each other in determination. I felt the bond of our class strengthen in our talent and fashion shows, our junior picnic, carnival night. We carried those responsibilities of our class heavy on our shoulders like bricks and made it look like feathers. I felt the thumps and vibrations of the bleachers as we rooted for our incredible sports teams. It could be homecoming, Reggie Carter night, playoffs, Think Pink, the list goes on, but whether in victory or in defeat, we supported each other like winners. Our feet never dragged and our eyes never met the ground. And as not everything is rainbows and sunshine, we've had our arguments, the clashes, the disappointments, the shortfalls. But standing amongst you on this day the same way we huddled beside each other from dusk to dawn on senior sunrise, all I see before me, and all that I will ever recall upon, is family. As to our teachers, advisors, our principal and superintendent, you are no less of kin to this little 200 or so graduating family. You have been the bridge of growth between immaturity and independence for individuals on the cusp of adulthood. You owe our generation of tomorrow nothing, and yet you give us everything. In teaching us not only how, but why we live in this world, you give it to us. As we can thank you verbally, I hope we can also express at least a fraction of our gratitude in the future contributions of our endeavors, what we give back to the world. I was struck once by a line from a poet named Ericson. It read, "We are ink and blood and all things that make stains. We turn each other golden as we turn, browning each other's skins like suns. Hold me to the light, you will see poems. Hold me in the dark, you will see light." Looking back now, perhaps my misunderstood speechlessness was not a lack of words, but rather a multitude of feelings. An unspoken poem, not heard but felt, that we've written over all these years. Love, work, life, time, you'll always find poetry beneath these words. What we've done and accomplished as a family is powerful, but how we can make that a testament to our own individual character, that is poetic. Across all of these years, you could have been a version of yourself for your family, your friends, for your image, your grades. But now is the time that you have to commit to your own narration for the sake of you. I am not asking you to be perfect or to invent or create the next masterpiece. I only ask that you write the story of yourself to a rhythm only felt by you, to the judgment of your own one-person audience. I once hoped to rely on others who would carry my pen and hold my paper for too many years. If I had acceded to freeing myself from this responsibility, it would become my only life dictated by the means of someone else's lines. I may not know what I want, but when I do, I'll profess it with words that last a lifetime and with a desire to help the words of other voices be heard. In the least, this is what the portrait of my parents' lives and their support have blessed me to desire. That is how I would like my life's poem to be written. That is how the poem of your life should be. So, as we will no longer roam the halls of Mineola High School as the class of 2020, and our memories are spent in the reprise of our minds rather than the school we call home, let us look forward to create a kind of poetry out of our lives that we can look back on after and smile. I hope your poems shine in just the right verses. I hope your words are uncut, unfiltered, and unpretending. I hope your stories make the most beautiful works of literature look dreary. I hope your narration roars and resonates wherever it steers. I hope it ends exactly where you want it to. And I hope that, in the end, you will mold the version of this poem that you've dreamed of your entire life to become your memoir. I know I will. Thank you.
Remember me, though I have to say goodbye. Remember me, don't let it make you cry. For even if I'm far away, I hold you in my heart. I sing a secret song to you each night we are apart.
Remember me,
remember me,
though I have to travel far. Remember me,
remember me.
Each time you hear a sad guitar,
know that I'm with you,
the only way that I can be, until you're in my arms again.
Remember me.
Que nuestro corazón no deje de latir, solo con tu amor yo puedo existir. Que nuestro corazón no deje de latir, solo con tu amor yo puedo. Recuérdame, si en tu mente vivo estoy, recuérdame. Mis sueños yo te doy, te llevo en mi corazón y te acompañaré. Unidos en nuestra canción, contigo y estaré, recuérdame.
Si sola quise estar,
recuérdame. Y mi cantar te irá a abrazar, aún en la distancia nunca vayas a olvidar que yo contigo siempre voy. Recuérdame.
Rise and let the music play. Keep our love alive and never fade away.
Close your eyes and let the music play. Keep our love alive, will never fade away. If you close your eyes and let the music play, keep our love alive, will never fade away. Remember me,
remember me,
for I will soon be gone. Remember me,
remember me,
and let the love we have live on.
Know that I'm with you,
The only way that I can be, until you're in my arms again.
remember me.
Que nuestro corazón no deje de latir, solo con tu amor yo puedo
Remember
existir.
me.
Que nuestro corazón no deje de latir, solo con tu amor yo puedo. Remember me.
Did anyone order a valedictorian? Because here I am. Hello everyone. I'd like to begin by thanking Dr. Nagler, Dr. Smith, members of the Board of Education, administration, faculty, family, and friends for joining us to celebrate our amazing accomplishments. I am so honored to welcome the graduating class of 2020. I never thought we'd be here. Seriously, I thought that COVID-19 might have ended this all, but again, thank you to the Mineola community for coming together to give us an unforgettable senior year. It truly makes it difficult to leave a place that has given me so many memories, but now we must look ahead, move forward, and start building our futures. It may not seem like it, but the futures we've dreamed about will soon be here. The future is here right now. High school has really zoomed by, especially since it's felt like I've been stuck in the month of March for the last 3 months. I would also like to thank my amazing parents who have molded me to be the person I am. Dad, thank you for being my #1 supporter. Whatever I want to do in life, I know that you are right there beside me. You are a man of many talents, surprise me with your vast amount of knowledge, your amazing culinary skills, and the fact that you always have the right thing to say. I hope that one day I can be half the person you are. Mom, what can I say? You are my best friend and inspiration for those of us who strive to be strong, confident, and intelligent women. You may not have been the tiger mom I asked you to be during parent-teacher conferences, but you do know how to make a girl laugh. So, Hassan Minaj, watch out. My mom is coming for your job. I also cannot forget about my sister Anushka. I mean, she would never forget me. She's following me to college. We went on this journey together, and I would not want anyone else by my side. You push me to be better, to work harder, and to see our world in a different way. You have shown me that you can make the impossible possible, and I thought a lot of things were impossible. But here I am, going to the same college as my sister, so miracles do happen. Together we have learned so much from our friends, our family, and our teachers. But Dr. Smith, perhaps the high school should consider a course in twin telepathy. We are more than happy to come back and teach it through WebEx. And Vivek, I would never mean to leave you out. I cannot wait to see what there is in store for you. Your intelligence and determination is something to look out for. Our journey started at Willis Avenue, where we used to have hula hoop contests and Halloween parades. We separated from there, and at Meadow Drive, I learned how to rollerblade in the gym, a skill that today I totally lost given the fact that I almost sprained my ankle skating for a physics lab this year. Plus, it was there where we developed a growing obsession for silly bands, box ball, and field days. We all met again in the middle school where we were introduced to Bill Nye the Science Guy and where we joined new clubs and sports. Our time at the high school over the last 5 years have been filled with memories of enjoying our time in classes, parading through halls on pep rally days, waiting for the moment that we could finally play badminton in gym class, and for me, counting down the minutes till I could sit with my friends in the blue room every 9th period. But now, here we are, on this stage, official alumni within an hour. This diploma may signify the end of this chapter in our lives, but our stories are nowhere near finished. It's time to start writing the rest of our novels. Now we must take what we have learned and write a future that you are proud to live. Throughout our lives, we have lived in an ever-changing society. We are graduating during a turning point in history that has taken us from a global pandemic to a fight for equality. But being a part of the generation raised on the ideas of change, here is now what we must grow from. This generation will carry forward the momentum of change and will continue to change the world. Being a part of a generation of change also comes with the challenge of facing the unknown. The future is something that I fear. It's something that's unpredictable and uncontrollable, yet we still go on in pursuit of it. The idea of the future constantly changes. 1 minute, I think I'll go down one path, and 3 minutes later, I see myself taking another. But it's for each of us to decide our own routes, our own rest stops, and our own detours. In the end, we all have the same destination, whether it be happiness, wealth, or accomplishment. But the ride there must be filled with experiences and failures. And it's okay to fail. It's inevitable. Failure translates to courage, failure translates to growth, and then failure translates to success. My fear of the future slipped away once I realized you can ultimately control your future. Shakespeare said it best. It is not in the stars that hold our destiny, but in ourselves. From this moment on, we all have two choices in life. We can either follow a path that has already been paved for us, or we could take another route. I doubt it is a path less taken by, but it's definitely a path with several detours and roadblocks, and one that is constantly under construction. It's a path where we discover who we truly are, a path where we find excitement and passion, a path where sometimes you'll feel the urge to take an exit so that you could turn around and go home. But I promise you that when you unlock whatever it is that is inside of you that allows you to achieve your goals, big or small, it'll be worth taking this journey. The whole world may decide to follow each other, but there are people in this room that will decide to lead instead. So dear future leaders, I ask that you begin to think how you will change our world. Our families, our friends, and our teachers have prepared us so that we can make a mark on this world. Looking out into our world, we have people fighting for their rights as females, as people with disabilities, as members of the LGBTQ+ community, and as people in minority communities. I ask you to educate yourselves, to open your minds to different opinions, and to do your civic duty and utilize the rights you have been granted for the good you can do. We have people in this room that I know will go on to save our world from disease and global health issues, people who will save planet Earth from the damage we've inflicted upon it, and people who will be on the forefront of STEM development. I also see that we have future lawyers who will fight to see that justice prevails, future educators that will prepare future generations because their influence will never be stopped, future performers that will grace stages and screens, future fashion icons that will help define our world, and athletes that will compete and perform on fields and courts. I see a room of people that will help their communities and serve them just as Mineola has served you. I would also like to shout out the students who have chosen to enlist in the military or join ROTC. I truly admire your determination, discipline, and grit. Go Navy! So, today I call upon our future leaders to help make this difference. In whatever way you decide to change this world, not only should you be an advocate, but also an avid learner. Manifest your dreams, see them through, and in the end, remember, whatever you do in this world, it affects others. Those whom you've touched will affect other people, who will then affect others, and so on. When all is said and done, when your perfect plan is laid out, throw it out. Because life is unpredictable no matter how perfect the plan is laid. The journey is where you learn. The journey is where you grow. The adventure is where you experience, and it is what you should chase. So throw the plan out, but keep the rough outline and keep moving forward. As people, we're under constant construction. Our goals change, our views change, and our feelings change. With our futures upon us, embrace all the changes. But just remember to take a minute, because as Ferris Bueller said, life moves pretty fast. If you don't stop and look around once in a while, you can miss it. Congratulations, class of 2020. We did it. I cannot wait to see what we all accomplish. And as Mr. Fury says, with much love and good vibes, peace out. Thank you.
Good morning, Board of Education, faculty, parents, guests, and of course, our esteemed graduates. This morning, I like to ponder the expression, a moment in time. For 2020, it's a very interesting expression. For you, this time period is more than a moment in time, it's really a moment in history. After all, pandemics are not a common occurrence, certainly not one that shuts down the entire world for multiple months. And while we're living in it, it seems an untenable situation. The anxiety of not knowing if you'll catch the virus or how bad it will be. Will I or someone I know be hospitalized or worse? It certainly has a remarkable effect on the way we think about the future and live in the present. Your parents and I had a similar moment in 2001. The terrorist attacks on the World Trade Center rocked this country. And although we may not have experienced a personal loss, we certainly all were devastated. It was a time where we felt hope was lost and were devastated and violated, and we didn't think we would overcome that situation. The world at the time, and in New York in particular, we became a little kinder, a little gentler, and more empathetic to one another than any other time period that I lived through. We overcame that moment in history, and you were all evidence of that since you were all born after 9/11. But the terrorist attack also had a radical effect on how we conduct business in our daily lives. There was a time before we had Homeland Security, or our bags were routinely checked before a sporting event, or before we took our shoes off to board an airplane. Those examples are the result of a moment in history. Today you're all living in this moment, and whose effects are yet to be seen. Who knows? Masks may be as common as putting your pants on. And 6 feet may be our new measurement. Will we ever shake hands again? I don't know. Or we may, or scratch that, you may invent a new vaccine or a piece of equipment that tackles our problems of airborne viruses in our world. You're leaving high school and entering a world that on the surface seems an untenable situation. And now you become the generation that will deal with viruses and perhaps another pandemic, I pray not, and a whole bunch of other stuff. I mean, you're also entering the world at a time where our country has the greatest civil unrest in the last 50 years. And now more than ever, the world needs citizens of a society that listens to one another. The theme of my many graduation speeches in the past have centered on the concept of seek first to understand, then be understood. Listening to one another is perhaps the most important skill for this moment in history. So please be the generation that does that and go forth and change your moment in history. Godspeed. Happy graduation.
Good morning. I'd like to welcome members of the Board of Education, Dr. Nagler, administrators, teachers, families, and most importantly, the Mineola High School class of 2020. As I thought about this year's graduation speech, I struggled to find a theme that would most accurately reflect the message I wanted to deliver to this wonderful class. As I walked out of school on Friday, March 13th, 2020, we were faced with the unknown, and the next 14 weeks were nothing short of unimaginable. I'd like to bet that if I asked you to define social distancing 3 months ago, or tell you that businesses and schools across the nation would be closed and people would be wearing masks to go to the supermarket, you would think I was crazy. But here we are. It is our current reality, and it has taught us that life is unpredictable and can pivot very quickly from what we are used to and what we expect it to be. And yet, in the midst of this unprecedented time in history, we have also been given time to stop and think about what really matters in life and how precious many of the things we take for granted truly are. Our health, our families, nature, friends, and of course, Wi-Fi. I also recognize the importance of being part of a team and that working together, we are always better. I would like to pause for a moment to recognize and thank a very important team, our essential workers and first responders. Many of them are Mineola High School families. Your tremendous efforts and bravery during this tragic time have not gone unnoticed, and we are eternally appreciative to you. You are true heroes. As I have returned to the building many times since we were forced to close, I have felt an emptiness, a quiet, barren feeling that was usually reserved for the summer months. Quarantine and remote learning have certainly changed the trajectory of the 2019-2020 school year, changing the typical end-of-year experiences for our seniors that they have become so accustomed to. We had to pivot, create new experiences, and make new memories. Graduation is a time for celebration, not disappointment. And COVID-19 and quarantine are certainly not worthy themes for this milestone in your lives. And while this has been a difficult time for our students and their families, it has also been a time of resilience, hope, and accomplishment. I found a theme. Resilience. Psychology today describes resilience as the quality that allows some people to be knocked down by the adversities of life and come back at least as strong as before. Highly resilient people find a way to change course, emotionally heal, and continue moving towards their goals. To achieve this requires a positive attitude, optimism, the ability to regulate emotions, and the ability to see failure as a form of helpful feedback. These tremendous life skills are also needed in college, the military, and the workplace. Next is hope. As defined by the Merriam-Webster Dictionary, hope is the desire accompanied by expectation or belief in fulfillment. We are living through uncertain times that require hope, as well as the belief that brighter days are to come. Class of 2020, I believe that you will help shape that future. A future full of optimism, personal strength, and promise. Finally, there's accomplishment. The successful achievement of a task or activity, usually as the result of study, practice, and hard work. You have all experienced this feeling both inside and outside of the classroom, on the athletic fields, in clubs or class meetings, through participation in fine arts, and in your own personal lives. Think TikTok. I know you can relate. That feeling when you finally perfect Renegade. I hope your experiences with resilience, hope, and accomplishment have begun to pave the way for you on the road that lies ahead of you. And as you continue to define your own path, I offer you 10 ways to succeed as you graduate high school today. And these 10 tenets from author and keynote speaker John Gordon require 0 talent. 1, be on time. 2, show up and do the work. 3, give your best. 4, be positively contagious. 5, have an attitude of gratitude. 6, seek solutions. 7, have passion. 8, be coachable. 9, do more than what's required. And 10, believe in yourself. Finally, I would like to thank Ankita, Valerie, and Ericson. Your speeches were beautiful. To our musicians, the selections were perfect. And finally, I would like to thank the entire class of 2020 for the resilience you have shown, the accomplishments you achieved, and the hope that lies ahead. Thank you for the Friday Hangouts, the new memories that have been made, and as you graduate high school and move on to bigger and better things, remember the words of Dr. Seuss. You're off to great places. Today is your day. Your mountain is waiting, so get on your way. Oh, the places you'll go. Congratulations, class of 2020.
Hello, everyone. My name is Patrick Talty, and it is my honor to serve as a trustee on the Mineola Board of Education. I must first address the elephant in the room. Much fear and anxiety has gripped this class for many months, but I can now confidently reassure you that there is nothing to fear because Mrs. Jankowski has retired and it is safe to once again return to the 3rd floor of the high school. Seriously though, we owe a deep debt of gratitude to Mrs. J and all our teachers and staff who demonstrated remarkable dedication, flexibility, and compassion to the students and families in our district while themselves going through this odyssey with their own families. I also want to acknowledge the nonstop effort by the administrative staff in our schools to ensure that our mission continued uninterrupted. I offer special thanks to Dr. Smith, whose unwavering leadership at the high school brought a sense of normalcy to a situation that was anything but normal, especially for the class of 2020. The graduation parade is something that my family and I will never forget. And finally, to our district leadership team, including Dr. Nagler, Mr. Gavin, Mr. Escobar, and Mr. Waters. Your vision and ability to move mountains over the last decade positioned Mineola to keep the focus on our students under these difficult circumstances when they needed it most. Dr. Nagler demonstrated day after day why he is the New York State Superintendent of the Year. He's not just better, stronger, and faster. He truly is a leader amongst leaders. So it gives me great pleasure to congratulate what must be the most resilient class Mineola has ever seen. Since these graduates started school, they have been referred to as the class of 2020. It has been in their yearbooks since elementary school and event t-shirts, and most recently on the banners that adorned our community. Now, the year is finally here, but the finale has been altered somewhat. And yet, the graduates have not lost their spark. If anything, this experience has added to their character and perhaps given them a greater appreciation for what school and education means in their lives. There really is no limit to what's possible when people come together for the common good. My message to you today is simple. Be mindful of what you spend your time on, and don't live in fear of failure, of success, or the unknown. While I was in college, I came across a rather obscure quote from the French historian Ferdinand Braudel. He was writing about civilization, and he had this insight to share about success and failure. Victorious events come about as the result of many possibilities. And for that one possibility which actually is realized, innumerable others have drowned. And yet, it is necessary to give them their place because the losing movements are forces which have at every moment affected the final outcome. I found it inspirational, and I desperately needed inspiration. I was an engineering student struggling with math. My college transcript looked like a minefield, and my future was in peril. I got serious and began splitting my time between the library and the tutoring center. What I thought might be unknowable, I began to see as just unknown. It required several thousand hours of study over many years to work from weakness to strength. That might seem like a lot of time, but with 8,760 hours in a year, it's not if you use it wisely. So be honest with yourself. Take well-reasoned risks and push forward in the face of difficulty, even profound loss. Each of you has the strength within to do so. You are the future. Your job is to take what you have learned and turn it into something bright. Bright with inspiration, bright with creativity, bright with understanding, and bright with friendship. Remember that your lives are so very precious and you are unstoppable. Congratulations to the class of 2020. Good luck to you. Thank you.
Joel Abreu. Nicholas Ahn. Lena Ali. Rabab Ali. Hugo Amador. Katelyn Ariza. Emily Assam. Alicia Augustine. Alexis Ballestieri. Angel Barajas. Ryan Barbosa. David Batista. William Beatty. Sophia Berger. Margaret Bertuccio. Brandon Best. Jessica Bird. Nolan Blaze. Marisol Borga. Dylan Bradley. Morgan Brady. Hunter Braun. Thomas Brennis. Melanie Bueno. Madeline Callie Alvarez. Fursan Calvin. Tiffany Cardoza. Alexander Castiglia. Matthew Catania. Christian Sestaro. Pedro Chakar Demora. Madeline Claros. Claudia Coelho. Daniela Condon. David Contreras Manguia. Domingos de Silva. Steven de Silva. Dayer Del Cid Gallo. Justin Desiderio. Aaliyah Dimakwango. Nicholas Dos Santos Ferreira. Jonathan Dos Santos. Joseph Early. Katelyn Escorcia. David Esquerdo Haldane. John Fabricanti II. Gaston Farias. Vasco Fernandez, Brian Fernandez, Juan Flores, Thomas Fretz, Alyssa Garabarini, Amanda Garcia, Jeanette Giamo, Victoria Godino, Francisca Gomes, Katelyn Goncalves, Luis Goncalves, Maggie Gorman, Alexandra Goro, Kevin Graff, Erin Grafing, Elmer Granados, Francisco Granados, Melanie Granados, Jose Guerrero, Isabel Guerrero, Kayla Guerrero, Erin Harty, Bridget Healy, Christian Hernandez, Carla Herrera, Catherine Hoey, Isaiah Huang, Zenga Huang, Madeline Irish, Marcella Jauquin, Christina John, Jesslyn Joes, Perlisa Kabashi, Hashim Kazmi, Guy Kearney, Ryan Kahn, Juke Kim, Christopher King, Stephen Koski, Luke Lambropoulos, Michael Langella, Nicole Lazuski, Samuel Levitan, Andrew Lewis, Carmen Lima, Nicholas Lumizopoulos, Emma Lopes, Michael Lopes, Juan Lopez Torres, Ryan Laughlin, Noah Love, Joseph Lucchese,
Laura Machado, Alexis Madai, Alexandra Maldonado, Afsar Malik, Valerie Madden, Eric Marquez Hernandez, Josh Matthew, Teresa McCary, Jessica McCarthy, Brendan McDonough, Sean McKenna, Aiden McMahon, Christopher Melendez, Kyle Mindaka, Margaret Mitchell, Katelyn Miranda. Brianna Morera. Luis Moreno. Erin Morrissey. David Mulder. Joshua Mundy. Caitlin Nikolic. Saruthiga Nimelin. Alyssa O'Keefe. John Oliveira. Marcelo Orizaco. Jasmine Ortiz. Christopher Osorio. Justin Palencia. Abel Parada. Ankita Patel. Anushka Patel. Gabriella Patanastro. Eric Pavla. Kyle Pereira. Melissa Pereira. Stephanie Pereira. Jack Piatti. Christian Pimenta. Alma Pinto. Julian Pasilico. Jason Price. Juliana Quinones Rojas. Joshua Quinones Rojas. Chris Ratopoulos. George Raftopoulos. Dylan Renner. John Reason. Dana Restrepo. Patrick Revland. Natalie Rivera. Justin Roa. Jordan Robinson. Kelly Roca. Ariana Rodriguez. Natalia Romero Rubio. Julia Rosati. Leandra Saavedra. Emil Sabrina. Jonathan Salomon. Jonathan Salcedo. Brandon Saldana. Donna Saravia. Ethan Sargent. Isabella Schilling. Natalie Schmidt. Kai Schrader. Morgan Scott. Roni Satia. Brendan Shannon. Frank Sheehan. Amy Shin. Robert Seaman. Brian Simmons. Taras Smika. Sarah Stiehl. Aline Talty. Kristen Tarab. Matthew Tarantola. James Ty. Mateo Torito, Rebecca Toba, Stephen Toms, Nicholas Tribeman, Louis Uceda, Taylor Vaughn, Ericson Velasquez, Austin Velez, Brittany Villalobos, Katelyn Walters, Zachary Wisnowski, James Wasiek, Brandon Yousefi,